Imagine waking up tomorrow to the worst day of your life, a betrayal, a failure, a loss. Now imagine, instead of resisting it, you welcome it, not because you're weak, not because you enjoy suffering, but because you're free. Free from needing life to obey your preferences. Free to love life as it is. This is Amor Fati, the Stoic art of loving what happens. Part 1. What is Amor Fati? Amor Fati, a Latin phrase meaning love of fate, isn't just a poetic motto. It's a radical way of being, a worldview, a spiritual discipline. Friedrich Nietzsche described it as, "My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." The Stoics, centuries before him, embodied this mindset deeply. Epictetus taught us, don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens the way it happens. Then you will be happy. This isn't passive acceptance. This is active embrace. It's saying, not only do I accept that this is happening, I love that this is happening. Amor Fati isn't wishful optimism. It's not toxic positivity. It's realism grounded in strength. It says, whatever the universe brings me, I will use it. I will integrate it. I will make it fuel for virtue. Part 2. Why it feels impossible in modern life. Let's be honest, loving what happens? That sounds impossible in the real world. We live in a world of endless options, instant feedback, and obsessive control. We're conditioned to believe life must go our way, or else something is wrong. You miss a promotion, you're bitter. Your relationship ends, you spiral, you fail, and you see yourself as a failure. Modern culture trains us to equate control with happiness. But the Stoics saw clearly we control very little. Fate, nature, life will always surprise us. The only control we have is over our response. And when you let go of needing life to align with your plans, a strange thing happens. Peace. Not resignation, but inner liberation. Part 3. How the Stoics practice Amor Fati. For the Stoics, Amor Fati wasn't theory. It was a lived practice. Let's explore 3 techniques they used and how you can apply them today. 1. Premeditatio malorum. Premeditation of evils. Seneca recommended imagining negative events before they happen, not to make yourself anxious, but to rehearse your strength. He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. Modern application? Visualize setbacks, losing your job, a loved one getting sick, failing publicly. Feel it, process it, and then imagine, how would my best self respond? This practice immunizes you from shock and helps you meet life on your feet, not your knees. 2. Nature as a guide. Marcus Aurelius constantly returned to the idea of nature, not just the birds and trees, but the natural order things. What happens to each man is part of what happens to all. You are not isolated. Your life is not random. Everything that happens to you is part of a larger flow, and your role is to flow with it, not fight it. Think of yourself as a stone in a river. The current will come. You can resist and erode, or flow and be shaped. 3. Turning obstacles into purpose, as Marcus wrote. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is Amor Fati in action. You're not just enduring what happens. You're transforming it. Pain becomes compassion. Failure becomes humility. Loss becomes clarity. This isn't spinning. It's alchemy. You turn life's raw material into something meaningful. Part 4. Common misconceptions about Amor Fati. Let's clear something up. Amor Fati does not mean you should want bad things to happen. You should suppress your emotions. You should never strive for improvement. No, you still try. You still hope. Furthermore, you still feel. But when life says no, you don't crumble. You say, I will make use of this. That's power. That's peace. Part 5. The everyday application. So how do we live Amor Fati? Not as an idea, but as a practice? When stuck in traffic, instead of cursing, use the time to reflect, to breathe, to listen to something meaningful. When criticized unfairly, ask, what truth, if any, is in this, and how can I grow from it? When plans fall apart, say, perhaps this is making space for something better. When life hurts, whisper, this too belongs. You don't need dramatic events to practice Amor Fati. Every moment is an opportunity to train your soul. Part 6. Why Amor Fati is freedom. Here's the paradox. The more you fight life, the more it controls you. The more you accept life, the more free you become. When you love what happens, you stop needing life to be a certain way. You stop being a slave to circumstances. You become, in the deepest sense, invincible. As Viktor Frankl, survivor of the Holocaust, once said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. That choice, to love what happens, is your ultimate act of defiance and dignity. Amor Fati is not a Stoic slogan. It's a way to live with grace, power, and presence, even in the face of tragedy. You don't have to like what happens. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. But you can choose to love life enough to say, this too I welcome. This too I will use. This too is part of my path. And that is the soul of Stoicism. If you find this video interesting, let's subscribe Stoic Mindset for more deep Stoic insights every week.